The driveway was wrong. A cruiser parked like it belonged. My basement light on. Then I heard him, my son, screaming. I didn't think, I ran, down the steps. The smell of sweat, damp cement. And there it was, a deputy, body cam dark. My boy strapped to a pipe, wrists zip-tied until skin split. His mouth raw from crying. And her, my wife, standing there with her phone angled just right, recording, her laugh sharp, rehearsed. Let's see if Dad saves you. The deputy turned, startled, barked like a dog caught mid-slaughter. What are you doing here? I froze, but only on the surface. Inside, a tide shifted. They thought the game belonged to them. They thought wrong. That moment, that tableau, was their last mistake. The hours after were haze and glass. I cut the zip ties, lifted my boy into my arms, his sobs muffled against my chest. Police reports were written, sanitized. The deputy's word, her word, stacked against mine. The body cam, accidentally off. My wife smiling in the hallway, telling neighbors it was a misunderstanding. But I saw the glint in her eyes. Not fear, not shame, excitement. It wasn't an accident. Not the deputy, not the basement, not the game they tried to play. A deeper truth pulled at me, ugly and deliberate. This wasn't betrayal in the moment. It was a pattern, premeditated. Her cruelty had teeth I hadn't wanted to see. I thought of the strange late-night texts she guarded, the sudden wealth in her mother's account, the moments she insisted I stay longer on business trips. I used to dismiss them as coincidences. Now they formed a noose. I watched her tuck our son into bed later, her hand hovering too long over his hair, like she owned the right to comfort him. My son flinched. That was when I knew she had been working against me for years. And the deputy wasn't an intruder, he was her partner. I let silence do the work. She thought my quiet meant defeat, that I'd fold into myself and disappear. But silence gave me room to plan. I started with her phone records. A judge I once worked with still owed me favors. Subpoenas arrive faster when you know which strings to pull. Numbers repeated. The deputy, at all hours. Calls stretched long enough to be confessions. Financials next. Hotel receipts. Transactions routed through her mother, a private account. And then, the hardest cut. Messages stored on a cloud she forgot I still had access to. Lines that burned through my eyes as I read. He's so gullible. I want to see his face when it breaks him. Our boy screams just like him. It's funny. I sat in the dark, rereading. My son wasn't just collateral. He was the stage. And the cruelty wasn't impulsive. It was curated. A performance rehearsed between lovers. I remembered every time she'd told me to trust her. Every time I ignored the instinct clawing inside me. Not this time. I gathered it all. Records, messages, audio clips I pulled from her cloud. Piece by piece, I built a file too heavy for anyone to deny. She thought she had me boxed in, but I was the one tightening the walls. I chose a Sunday morning, calm. She liked to play the saint in daylight. I set the file on the kitchen table. Read. She smiled at first, smirked, really, until she opened it. Until the first page cut her breath short. Her eyes flicked through messages, bank trails, stills pulled from security footage she never knew existed. Her mask collapsed. I can explain. No. The word was flat, final. She looked at me, truly looked, and realized explanation wasn't an option. Her mother's voice in the hall broke, calling her name, but even she went silent when she saw what was spread on the table. The deputy's name, signatures, timestamps, all carved in ink. The betrayal was no longer abstract. It was bound in paper, undeniable, eternal. And for the first time, she couldn't laugh. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I sent copies to 3 people already: judge, attorney, internal affairs. If I vanish, they surface. If my son vanishes, they surface. If you breathe wrong, I leaned forward, voice cutting through her silence, they surface. She broke then. Tears, sobs, shaking hands, all useless currency. You don't love him. You never did, I said. You loved the game, the cruelty, the stage. Her mother tried to speak. I silenced her with a glance. You'll lose the house, the money, the deputy, and you'll never see him again. Her face twisted, collapsing under the weight of a life undone. I stood, calm, complete. My son was upstairs, sleeping safe for the first time in months, and I let her drown in the silence she'd mocked me for. That night, I sat in my son's room, watching him breathe. The storm inside me was gone. Not peace, clarity. I had mistaken loyalty for love. I had mistaken laughter for joy. What she gave me was neither. It was theater. But theater doesn't survive the spotlight. She thought betrayal would break me. She was wrong. It built me sharper, colder. I looked at my son, his chest rising steady. He was mine, the only truth left worth holding. And as I closed his door, I realized something final. She hadn't lost me. She had lost the power to matter.